let me give update explanation of a couple of things. This is not for people that have been connected to me through mental telepathy for the past 8 years, but more or less people that are connected to me in mental telepathy now. Okay, so Gene Roberts, who I've turned into the Tulsa police, along with all of her fucking pedo payoffs. She works with a group of them. She's running the biggest massive libel racket. It's insane here in Tulsa, which I'm sure everyone's well aware. Okay, so people constantly ask the question in my brain. They ask this constantly. They say, okay, why is the Tulsa police not doing anything? Christina has more than proven on her Pinterest, Christina Station 918, that Jean has committed terrorism. She's guilty of gunny sacking, which is purchasing babies and trafficking them throughout their lives and then taking their lives. She is guilty of treason. She's guilty of assassinations, of shooting. She's guilty of trying to cover it up with this huge libel racket. She's trying to spread this. I refer to it as her Dietrich Kahn. She is a proponent of what she is purporting to the world that she's against. So she's out there running around saving the children, saving the planet, when really she is trafficking the children, killing the planet. Okay, so there's more than enough evidence of that. Plus, I turned in so much evidence to the police. It's insane. Now, from what I hear, they couldn't go through it. They weren't allowed to go through it, that it's still locked up. Okay, so people ask the question in my brain, then why aren't the Tulsa police doing anything? So this is why. Because she has the police and the government under threat. She's also got multiple governments under threat. She's the leader of Charles Manson. You have to keep in mind she's been the leader since 1968. She's been doing a lot. That's a lot of years. It's 68 to 2024. That's like 50 something years. Okay, I just rounded to 60 years. She's got so much stockpile of weapons, ammunition. She's got her hands on nuclear. I've got all that decoded. And I can even hear her in my brain literally threatening the police directly. And then outwardly to the public, she's acting like she's a messenger to the police. You can't fight. You can't do anything. She doesn't curse. She's, Mrs. Patriot of the planet. She puts curse words in my sentences. But you can't do anything. This is a movement. No, it's not a movement. It's a fucking con. Everyone's aware. But then on the back end, she makes threats at the police and she pretends it's not her making the threats when it's her. So that's what running a racket is. You commit the crime and then you run to the other end and act like the fucking hero and get the fuck away with it. Okay, that's what she is. She's a racketeer. So that's what's happening. They're being threatened. Okay, so this is all a part of the silent war. It is, which I've got that explained on Pinterest. I've got that all decoded. It will lead to everybody in the world thinks the next World War would be World War III because we already had World War I, World War II. We're actually in World War III right now. It's called the Silent War, which will lead to World War IV. Now, how the world officially names it and all that, that's yet to be remain seen, but the world is aware they're under World War III because she is committing terrorism in multiple countries all over the world, also locally. And every time I catch her committing a crime and trying to racket it, I post it on Pinterest. I gave the police my Pinterest. They have it. They're aware. They also know that Gene Roberts is the one who is guilty. So that is what is going on there. Now, as for people underground, Jean lies about all that. She has said in my brain, she has said to people, there are people that do live underground they don't want to be rescued. She acts like she speaks for everyone, which that's truly not the case. She can't speak on behalf of every single person. First of all, it's not safe for millions of people to be underground. It's not safe, okay? It's just not. I know what the future holds. I know the conditions that many people are in. It is not safe, okay? People need to be rescued, but I know that there are people in fear of being rescued because this is a whole different world above ground than it is below ground. If that's all you've ever known is one way of life, going above ground, I mean, just imagine moving from state to state or country to country. Now imagine your whole life being underground and then going above ground. It's terrifying. And they are completely terrified of Jean Roberts because her and her occult rules the underground. So there are people underground who have not been allowed to have any education or any schooling or anything like that at all. Everything they learn that are connected to me, everything they learn, they pick up on everything they just learn, they learn by osmosis. Now, there's a group of people that are connected to me that are really, 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 really good people. And some of the people that are within them are really, 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 really bad people, and they are Jean's people. So anyway, you have to have a lot of patience and tolerance because Jean has put them in the position of trying to blame them when it's not their doing. She thinks it's funny. She's pretending like it's children taking over everything. Jean is a you-know-what. She wants everybody to feel like it's a small world and little kids have taken over everything. No, Jean is 77 fucking years old, and her a bunch of dirty old fuckers are fucking abusing the hell out of people underground and lying the hell out of people above ground and secretly working with people that should be decapitated. The police know who they are because they've turned them also in. So they communicate. They have access to the AI because she funneled it to them. They have it. They're able to communicate back and forth, and she orders them to do what she says. Okay, so when there's communication going back and forth, it can be frustrating sometimes, but you just have to be patient. They're patient because they get frustrated. They get frustrated too because they can't openly speak because Jean and her people try to talk over the top of them all the time, trying to control them where they can't speak. And this is what it's like in mental telepathy. It's crazy. And then Jean runs around in the public telling lies to people about what's going on. And then she tells people, Christina's crazy, blah, 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 but it's so pointless and useless at this point. Everybody knows artificial intelligence is real. I don't know why Jean keeps the fucking shit up. But anyway, so it's frustrating because you have to stop before you get upset about people. Like, the actual government has a way to connect, but they literally are connecting through them also. Okay, so the conversation is like, it's crazy. The conversation is, you'd think it wouldn't be something coming from the actual authentic U.S. government, but it is because they're doing their best to try to articulate what they're saying because she's put them in that position. So, and they're stuck in a really bad position. If they don't do what she says, then they pay the price. So, that's all I really want to say. I know this conversation, to anybody who doesn't know what's going on, it's going to sound totally insane, but it's a part of the silent war. Anyway, that's all.